Big Ray's Wrestling Show.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is One Wrestling Video here on YouTube. And ladies and gentlemen, I am the reporter of the people, the man with the plan, Big Ray, here to say to talk some WWE Superstar Shakeup here today. And ladies and gentlemen, I'm not here alone. I am here with my good friend. He is one of the leading members, one of the founding members here at Hameen Media. Ladies and gentlemen, you may know him from The Locker Room. Or you may know him from the Pro Wrestling. What is it called? It's called the
Hitting the Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is. Well, he's not my Huckleberry because you have two Huckleberries, and I'm just a jabroni here trying to be down with you. But listen, guys, we were supposed to go live, and it didn't work out. So I did a pre-record, and I'm here with my buddy Rick Vickery. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, man, once again, such an honor, a great pleasure to be on with you with OneWrestling.com. I was looking forward to watching you live there. Unfortunately, some technical issues on YouTube side prevented that from happening. But, hey, it worked out for me because, hey, I get to join in on the fun this evening.
Yeah, man, I'm pretty excited, dude. I was going back and forth with after. By the way, Bill really loved your stuff the last time you were on with us. And, again, we're going to be doing a lot more work with you guys. Hopefully you, Mike Jargo, Matt Schaefer. Again, I'm not going to stooge off what day. When we get off of here, I'm going to stooge off to you what day we're going to actually be meeting. It's going to actually be very, very soon. And, you guys can conversate with Bill. And we're going to have a lot of fun here at One Wrestling Video. And do me a favor, ladies and gentlemen. There's a little bell down there. Can you just hit that little bell every time we get like a new content here? It'll pop right up on your smartphone, your computer, whatever you watch this on, guys. So please subscribe here, hit the little bell there if you can, guys. Give me a follow at Big Ray Show. Give my man a follow at the Real RVB.
The Real RBV across you can find me there at the Real RBV across all social media platforms. And then once I know this is a brand new audience that's kind of used to my voice. They already have it. They head on over to Facebook and make sure they're checking out yourself there, Big Ray, me, Michael Jargo, everyone that's involved in the Hameen Media group over in the Hameen Media discussion group on Facebook.
Well, check this out, dude. We're gonna quickly go over Raw, but before I do that, let's go down the list of people that are coming to Monday Night Raw. This is what I have. When I hit something that kind of tickles your fancy, all right? I want you to start chitter chatting. Let me know what you feel about it. Okay, is that cool?
Hey, that works for me, man. That's probably the best way to do it. Kind of blur these together because it was kind of one story over two big nights for WWE.
Do you like my SmackDown blue polo?
I like that, man. Rocking the blue brand, representing.
Looks good, right, brother? All right, so here we go. All right, so on my list I have the Ascension. Yeah, it is what it is. Baron Corbin. What do you think about Baron Corbin coming over to Raw from SmackDown?
You know what? Hey, Raw, it has that certain vibe. It's a little rough around the edges. It is the land of the giants, and most certainly Baron Corbin, he fits both of those perfectly. So I think it's going to be a good fit for him. We've heard the rumblings lately that Vince is still pretty high. He sees big potential in Baron Corbin, so I think it's a good move for him to be closer to a brand that Vince is probably closer to himself.
I don't totally disagree with you, and Baron Corbin has gotten a heck of a lot better over the course of the last couple of years, and he's gotten a heck of a lot better on SmackDown. He's cut better promos. He's been doing, he's pretty solid in ring. The guy has a presence. The only thing is that, and this is silly, all right, this may be silly to you. It's an aesthetic thing for me, and I think you know which way I'm going with this, but I think he just needs to cut that damn hair off.
Yeah, I'd love to see him, maybe him and Braun, they've got some unfinished business going back from a couple Rumbles ago that we haven't really seen, we haven't got a big payoff for that. It looks like we're eventually down the line, we're going to get that. How cool would it be like a hair versus beard match between those two? Give us a reason to cut those locks.
That would be pretty brilliant, dude. They haven't done. When's the last time they did a hair versus hair match in WWE? It's been a long time, right?
I couldn't even tell you, but if you're gonna cut it, give the fans a reason to pop. Let's gimmick it out.
Yeah, man, that works. All right, so then we have Breezango, who went over in a tag team match versus The Bar this week. Was it the Bar? Who the hell they faced this week?
Yeah, it was the Bar. You know, a big win. You know, it was kind of off-putting, you know, when the Fashion Police, Breezango, made their debut. You know, Cole immediately began burying them a little bit, calling them weirdos. Graves tried to say, hey, they're very unique. Hey, these guys have got a cult following. People love this duo. It's one of those fun gimmicks that you can get behind. It, you know, that reminds you that sometimes you just need to sit back and enjoy yourself and laugh a little bit at professional wrestling.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm hoping for good things from these guys.
Absolutely. You know, listen, man, those guys are both uber talented in the ring. They have a hell of a lot of charisma, and I think if booked correctly, the guys could be. I mean, can they be merch? Do you think these guys can sell a lot of merchandise?
Oh, I think, you know, the sky is the limit if you really tap into, you know, the potential that they have, the different markets out there. Hey, you know me, I am a marketing guy. You know, it's something I take a great deal of pride of bringing to the table when we're doing shows like this. You know, right off, you know, top of my head, remember Breeze used to have the whole gimmick where, you know, he would do his entrance on Facebook Live where you could actually see it. Man, you know, just selfie sticks, cell phone covers, the different things that you can market with these guys through live streaming, you know, services. I think, you know, there's so much out there, so much potential.
That's why you're the business guy here, man. That's why I asked you this question. Now we're gonna move down the line here. Chad Gable was interesting to me, and I'm pretty much figuring that they're probably gonna reform the tag team, right? What were they called? The Gimmick Jones? What are they called?
American Alpha, correct?
Yeah, same thing. Yeah, they're gonna reform the American Alpha. Do you think that's a possibility?
Man, you know, after Raw went off the air and they continued to release some of these shake-up moves through social media, this one really jumped out at me. Now, I know Gable, he went to WWE.com and released a video, or over on Facebook, but anyway, he released a video saying that he was going to use this opportunity to see how he could fly solo. I think that's just a cover-up until Jordan is eventually ready to come back. Then we see those guys reunite. I think they need each other, and it's something that could, you know, really help lift that tag division. Yeah,
I mean, listen. You know, I always felt that they didn't give American Alpha the push that they should have gotten. I think, I don't know, there was something about them that just weren't hitting with the fans, and since those two guys separated, they both kind of developed their own personas, and now bringing them back together, they definitely, I think, have to be bad guys. They have to be heels, in my opinion, going forward. Or do you differ with that? Because I think these guys were never given the true opportunity to push through that little lull they had, because some tag teams go through that. Look at the Bar. When they first got together, nobody thought the Bar would do anything, and these guys are one of the most prominent tag teams in the WWE. The Usos, they kind of took a dip, you know, when they were wearing the face paint. They kind of changed their personas a little bit, and now those guys are super over and taken seriously. So why can't American Alpha, if in fact that's what's going to happen, because these guys could end up doing having a feud? I mean, what's your thought?
Yeah, I think if you're eventually going to get to a feud between them, we need to bring them back together. You know, see how they gel now that they had to go out on their own and find a little personality. You know, kind of what you were speaking to, though. You know, where would they click better? You know, on the villainous side or as the heroes? I think a lot of that has to do with, you know, who they're facing. Now, there's a couple of feuds out there I would love to see them in. You know, if we're looking at who's still on Raw. If you could, you know, jumpstart the revival, then I think, you know, Alpha is definitely your babies in there. But, you know, if they want to revisit something that had big potential in NXT and they got them up against the Authors of Pain, then I think Alpha's got to be your babies.
Yeah, all right. I mean, I think it could work both ways. If you book it your way, I think it'll work. You know what I'm saying? I want to see them. I don't know, man. I just think that Chad Gable has really good heel tendencies, man. And then, of course, Kurt Angle Jr. over here also has really good, kind of really dislikable characteristics about him that just make you want to punch him. Everybody says I have a punchable face. I think those guys can have some punchable faces. But anyway, go ahead.
Well, so, do you remember when they had the gimmick towel going in their favor down in NXT? I mean, the people were so behind that. It was the Ready, Willing, and Gable towel.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I mean, people were eating that up, you know, and that's something so simple, but it connects with the audience. Then, whatever reason, it was JBL who made a comment. I don't know if he actually made this backstage, but he made one on air that for them to be taken serious, they had to get rid of the gimmick. And then shortly after that, it disappeared. And after that, it really seemed like they kind of lost, you know, their momentum.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. You know, they have so much potential, dude. I just want to get them, and I don't want to spend too much time on them because there's a lot more we got to talk about. But, ladies and gentlemen, you know what? Leave your comments here below. One Wrestling Video. Leave your comments down below. Give me a follow again at Big Ray Show on Twitter. Give the Real RVB a follow at the Real RVB. That's Rick Vickery. Give us your thoughts, guys, on American Alpha. Whether they should actually become a tag team again, or whether maybe they should feud with each other. I think those would be some great matches too, dude.
I think there's so much potential for many years to come with all the talent between those two.
Cool, man. All right, so let me go down the list. And again, we're going to quickly go down this list. We're going to go down Raw, kind of what happened. I'm not going to break down every single match because we'll be here for 3 hours. That's not going to happen. But we got Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn coming over to the to Raw, which it was pretty much a slam dunk. I figured that was going to happen, Rick. Go ahead.
Yeah, you know, with these two, it's almost to the point where I think I've seen enough. I know that there are tremendous talents. They get great heat. You know, but we've seen everything. I think we've seen everything we can with these two together. You know, we've seen them as partners. We've seen them in feuds. I don't know personally how much I can get invested in these two anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, it just sucks that these guys, everywhere freaking Sami Zayn goes, Kevin Owens goes. Everywhere Kevin Owens goes, Sami Zayn goes. I want to see these guys separated. I want to see these guys do their own thing for at least a year and see what happens, you know, with them. We have Mike Kanellis, who's making a comeback. I'm assuming he's coming back with his wife, Maria. But have you taken a look at Mike Kanellis and the transformation he's made ever since he had that little issue when he first left WWE?
I was going to say, it looks like he has straightened himself out. You know, they've been pretty open about the difficulties he was going through, some abuse problems, correct?
Yeah, absolutely.
It looks like he's, you know, an incredible transformation, and it's one of those people, you know, it's their dreams to get to this level, and, you know, it's a shame that he had almost seen that be thrown away, but now he's got this second chance to make it right. Hey, and if he doesn't really ever move up the card there, hey, just get out there. Be the performer you can be, entertain the masses. I hope it works out for him. I'm not completely sure that Maria is coming back anytime soon. I think she might be pretty content with staying home with that fairly newborn.
Didn't they have like 5 kids at once? Was that?
No, you're thinking of, who was that? Christy Hemme.
Oh, okay.
Christy Hemme.
Christy Hemme's gorgeous.
Now, I wish she would come back.
She's beautiful, man. She was great.
Bring the kids. I don't care what you got going on. Just I wouldn't want her back on the program.
She was a good. I thought she was a really good. She had such a great voice for ring announcing, especially when she was doing her thing in TNA. Man, I mean, she was just fantastic. I loved her. Okay, so a couple of other notable names before we move on. I'm gonna leave Jinder Mahal for last because Monday Night Raw opens with Jinder Mahal. So we have Natalya who comes in to Raw. For me, not really a big deal. I mean, you know, she's been around the block a couple of times. I don't think it makes a big difference whether she's on.
I mean, what do you think the potential is there? You think this move was to more so to help Ronda?
Well,
they do train together.
Well, they made it obvious that they train together, but I think this is going to lead into matches between her and Ronda. Natalya is a great heel, dude. And I know I'm a fan of the heel. I'm a fan of the bad guy, but she's just a great freaking heel, dude. So I think eventually she's just gonna stab her right in the back. And listen, man, I think those will be some awesome matches. And her working in ring in front of crowds with Natalya, she can only get better. I would hope, right?
Yeah, I see these two. Though, you know, that alliance will seem strong for a little while, and eventually, you know, we get that turn there, and I think that'll probably be the next high-profile singles match for Ronda. I mean, who better than a Hart, than Natalya?
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you. We'll move on quickly. Zack Ryder, again, just he's there. Wonderful, good for him. At least he keeps his job. I'm happy to hear that. Don't think they're going anywhere with him. Or the Riot Squad coming over. This was interesting. Because, you know, with Monday Night Raw losing Paige, and that was the original, let's just say that was the original thought process behind the Riot Squad. I'm wondering if they brought up the Riot Squad because they knew something was wrong with Paige and she wouldn't last, and that was kind of like their fallback. Is that thinking too deep into the cauldron of calamity here, or?
You are that deep thinker. You might be onto something there. I always just kind of took it as they needed bodies to fill at Women's Royal Rumble, so they wanted to introduce some new talent beforehand instead of just rolling out, random NXT girls.
Yeah, I mean, but Those girls have proven to be a pretty relatively formidable faction. Ruby Riott is the star of that faction, obviously. I think that girl has got it. She's got a different look. She's good in the ring. She's just a mean, nasty. She looks like she'll fight you. You know, she'll fight anybody. I'm sorry.
You're talking about looks. I mean, that's the main reason to get her away from Paige.
Well, absolutely.
But being so familiar.
Well, dude, Paige is not there anymore, so they don't have to worry about Paige. Paige is now running SmackDown.
Yep.
But look, why don't we jump into Monday Night Raw, because you have Jinder Mahal, who joins joins Raw, excuse me. He comes out and drops the title to Jeffrey Brother Nero Hardy. Dude, I'm gonna come right off. First and foremost. Let me just give a big shout out real quickly to Jared Blake. Not Jared Blake. Who was the gentleman who? God darn it! You know what? Give me your thoughts.
Which one?
No, not Jared Blake. Give me a thought process. Somebody gave me the name for this gimmick that I'm doing here called Smack Talk, and I want to give him a shout out on One Wrestling. But while I'm doing that, I just want to hear you. I'm gonna look up who did it. Was it MacGyver?
I was gonna say I thought I saw money in your chat about that. So yeah, hit the money, man. He usually comes through when you need him.
It was my old friend Kieran Smith.
Ah, okay.
I didn't even have to look it up. It popped right back up. Kieran, thank you so much for the cool name. We're going to go live next week. I'm going to go live next week. I'm going to try to figure out how to do this thing, man, because I tried. All right, buddy? So, you know, it is what it is. You know, I'm going to blame Rick for this. You know, he's the tech guy, right, Rick? You want to take responsibility?
No, I think Jargo is the one you call with any technical difficulties. If you need to call up and complain about something, yeah, I can get on the horn and fix YouTube with that, but... the technical side is Jargo. We'll have to get a hold of him.
Yeah, but anyway, look, let's get back. And Kieran, thank you for the name. I thought about it, and Kieran kind of pushed me, and I think it looks pretty cool. So, but anyway, listen, I thought this was a WrestleMania moment, just absolutely wasted. And you know, I reached out to a good friend of ours, Strangler Steve, and he felt that was exactly what he felt. He actually voiced that opinion while I was thinking it, and I was like, dude, thank you so much, because that was basically what I was saying. This was the opportunity to put that title on Rusev. They could have taken it to a different level, but they didn't. So they put it on Jinder Mahal, which I was happy about, and then they immediately take it off of him and put it on Jeff Hardy. I don't know. I think Jeff Hardy will make a great U.S. champion, yet another Grand Slam champion besides Seth Rollins. I guess this is the thing they're doing now. But anyway, Rick, what's your thought on this?
You know, this entire situation, it's not so much really about the talents, but I've been running around for, over the last 24 hours. Anyone that will listen to me, my main gripe is with the major plot holes in this storyline here. They go on the air with Kurt Angle yesterday, and he's putting over the shakeup, and the commentary team is putting over how Paige and Angle, they have been working all week, working together, working out deals. Who's moving here? Who's moving there? They've been talking to talent, saying, hey, I'm going to make this deal for you. I'm going to make sure you want to come over here. But the deals were going through the GMs. What I don't get is you make a deal to bring the U.S. title to your brand, and then you immediately say, hey, man, this is where we settle it in the ring. You say, whoever wants to come down here, take care of business, invite them on down. At that point, what we didn't exactly know, but Kurt Angle knows that Jeff Hardy is going to SmackDown.
Yeah.
Why would you give him that opportunity to take a belt you just drafted? You just selected.
It made no sense to me. It was just the opportunity to take the belt off of Jinder Mahal. And again, a WrestleMania, this was the WrestleMania of moments, I said. On several reviews, and dude, I gotta tell you, man, this was just such a waste. I don't get it. I don't get it. I can't wrap my head around it. Maybe the fans or the friends here that listen here, One Wrestling Video, or some of the Hameen Media discussion group that are gonna be watching this video after we put it up, dude. Maybe they have a good idea. I mean, I genuinely can't understand and wrap my head around. I think Jinder Mahal's money, dude, and people.
Well, I wonder if they even considered this from WrestleMania this far in advance, that they were gonna do this, or if this was like a last minute call. Hey, we need something to pop this shake up, to get it going, and they just did this, on a whim.
That's what it felt like to me. It just felt like we got because number one. All right, we'll get into where Jeff Hardy ends up later, and obviously we know he ends up on SmackDown. Again, ladies and gentlemen, we're not just covering Raw. We're gonna go through SmackDown, but we're just running through Raw really quickly. Running through this, we're doing the whole shake up thing, whole shake up, shake.
Shake it up. Is that a song?
Eventually it was one of those.
Shake it up. It's like some chick song.
I can't remember. And then you
or
also
chick singing.
Then you also had Outkast, who was shaking it like a Polaroid picture.
Yes.
You had that. The Harlem Shake.
Oh, I forgot about that. I forgot about that craze there. I'm going like way back. What was Shake It Up Baby, from
yes, sure, why not? What the hell are we talking about, Rick?
Did something get shaken up this week?
Apparently the WWE got shaken up. Hey, listen, Sasha Banks defeated Bayley via disqualification. That's when the Riot Squad came in and did their thing. Miz apparently is going to SmackDown. I forgot to mention that. And that was the whole Miz and Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn segment where Kurt Angle comes out. And apparently the Miztourage will no longer, they're not going to follow the Miz over to SmackDown. So what do you think is going to happen with the Miztourage? You think that's it? Do you think Bo Dallas goes off and becomes Bo Dallas again? And
I don't, these guys are a guilty pleasure of mine. It's just the subtleties. They can be giving very little to do. They make it work, even when they're in the background. Mm-hmm. I feel like, I'm drawn to them watching just their mannerisms. I'm hoping that they get some kind of push here. I'm hoping at least they get a short run to try to get really over with the audience. And I think if you give them an inch, they're going to take a mile.
Hopefully.
I've thrown this out a couple times. It's not very popular. And I hope it doesn't come into like the storyline. But I just think because we know it'd just be fun to watch. But I'd love to see Dallas and Axel taking on who I assume eventually are going to be your Raw Tag Team Champs in Hardy and Bray.
But do you want them, like...
I don't want them to bring the brother aspect in, but we'll know it's there.
Okay, you're going to think this is silly. Maybe. But what if... Okay, and I thought about this really quickly. What if they go... Now, silly gimmicks have always gone over.
All right, I got something. Go ahead.
Okay.
So might be thinking the same thing.
Let's say, okay, Bo Dallas comes out dressed in the IRS gimmick, and Kurt, what's his name?
Curtis Axel.
Curtis Axel comes out dressed in the Mr. Perfect Kurt Hennig gimmick, and they come out as an 80s tag team. An 80s tag team of Kurt Hennig, Mr. Perfect, and IRS, and they cut the same promos, and they do the same, and they're really cheesy and over the top. And do you think that would work?
Well, I'm going to throw a twist in here. We did see Curtis Axel involved with something like this before. Remember when he teamed up with Sandow and they were doing the Mega Powers deal?
Right. I remember that. That's where I got the idea from, to be honest.
Okay, well, let's throw a twist in here. We'll take your idea, which I am down with. I am loving it. Let's tie it into what I said. Let's give them a chance to become the contenders against Hardy and Wyatt, and somehow they find themselves at the compound, and they end up taking a dip into the Lake of Reincarnation, and then they reemerge as the new IRS and Mr. Perfect.
That would work, dude. But they have to roll like it's the 1980s. They have to.
Yeah, and whenever they reemerge from the lake, it is to them. I don't. They can even come out and start referring to their opponents. Like if they're up against the AOP one week, maybe they're calling them the Wild Samoans or the Natural Disasters or something like that.
That would be cool. They're cutting promos on teams that don't even exist anymore. Like Bushwhackers, we're coming. Bushwhackers, we're coming after you. That would be amazing, dude. Maybe we're thinking way out of the box here, but I mean, WWE Creative, you guys are watching this, that would be super fun to do, man. And I can't wait to hear the locker room tomorrow with Billy Ray Valentine, and apparently Strangler Steve was at SmackDown today, so it's gonna be Billy Ray Valentine and that sneaky little twisted hat wearing son of a gun, his name, Andrew Bello, piece of garbage, big old hook nose. I love him. Anyway. Speaking of Lake of Reincarnation, we have Matt Hardy, yes, wonderful, and Broken Bray versus the Revival. So these guys are gonna listen. These guys are gonna be the tag team champions, right, dude?
I don't see it going any other direction, especially now that we know that the Bar is headed to SmackDown Live.
Yeah, I agree with you 100%. And this is getting over. For me. This is working. I like it. Eventually, Bray Wyatt's gonna freaking turn on Matt. I mean, you know that, right?
I'm always hoping that it doesn't, because it seems so cliche. You know, it just seems so so expected that
Right.
they're going to go down that path. You know, I'd like to, give us a swerve and let's see these guys stick together, for a decent run. Let's see them where we actually consider them, where they actually evolve into, hey, we do look at them, acknowledge them as a true tag team.
But what's bothering me is that, and I know you like the whole Butcher's gimmick that he wears. I'm talking about Bray Wyatt, but I think they should, how Brother Nero was Brother Nero. He was he came like. I would like Bray Wyatt to be a version of like a broken Bray Wyatt. Like I said, maybe his hair is mostly blonde with a black streak on it or something opposite to broken or woken Matt Hardy. Something wearing something similar or like a robe or something different. I don't know. They just look too different. They're similar gimmicks, but not. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I mean, when you're talking about the turn, it kind of reminds you of when Randy Orton joined the Wyatts. And the only thing he really changed about himself is he started wearing a sleeveless vest. You never really bought in that he was buying into it himself. You were just waiting for the turn.
Yeah, but when Danny O'Brien did it, Danny O'Brien wore the whole jumpsuit. You know what I'm saying? He had the full beard. He fit right in, and it just kind of worked, even though they had to cut that short because Danny O'Brien's super over. They couldn't keep him as a heel. You know what I mean, bro?
I got you, man.
All right, so anyway, dude, that Ronda Rousey segment, my God, what a freaking judo throw she gave. Like the fans, I was kind of like, wow, that was kind of a shoot judo toss. She gave. What was it? What was this? What happened during this segment?
Well, this was a pretty good one. You have Absolution. They go 2-on-1 on Natalya. So Ronda's out to make the save. They kind of back off, but Sonya Deville, she's got a background in martial arts.
Yeah.
She's ready to throw down. So she says, you know what? I'm going to go in here. I'm going to measure Ronda up. She's in a wrestling ring now. I'm going to see if she truly is the baddest woman on the planet. And she ended up finding out that it looks like that's very true.
Yeah, I skipped past the Dolph Ziggler, Titus Worldwide thing, which I shouldn't have, because that was pretty interesting. What did you think of the whole Ziggler gimmick and having that surprise jump in and Drew McIntyre, who is an absolute dude? I forgot how huge that dude is, bro. And I saw him live when TNA came here to the Manhattan Center. That's a big boy. But anyway, what did you think of this that segment? I thought it was awesome, dude.
I was going to say this was probably one of, in my mind, the better segments of the evening, just because of the debut or the re-debut of Drew McIntyre. I know a lot, over me and you were both over in the same live discussion thread. Some people had a little issue with him possibly being in the role of a bodyguard or even having to be in a tag team with Dolph Ziggler. I'll tell you what, for the time being, I really like these two partnering up. I hope that they play it more as their equals, and they can focus on multiple things. They can look at the tag division, or they can work singles matches at the same time.
Sure.
But they both realize how talented they are. They both have been screwed over time after time, and they realize they need to come together if they're going to swim with the sharks on Raw.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to seeing a serious Drew McIntyre, a serious run for Drew McIntyre. The guy has it all. And again, another guy who wasn't given the opportunity in WWE, went over to TNA and really honed his skills over there, man. Became one of the top flight talent.
Well, just not TNA, just all around the world, really.
No, absolutely. But his the last portion of his run was at TNA, dude, and that's where he became that TNA World Champion. He was legit, man. He was the real deal over there. Let me skip past I guess we could talk about the Roman Reigns Samoa Joe thing, but it's neither here nor there because Samoa Joe ends up going to SmackDown. But I think Samoa Joe, cut a really good promo on Roman Reigns. Other than that, that's all we got.
Well, now I guess I can go ahead with it now instead of saving it. It's kind of that Joe is gone and the Miz is gone. Man, Raw is going to be very short on people that actually can go out there and work the stick. I mean, who's going to cut those long-winded, interesting promos?
No.
I guess
Elias?
It's going to be you have Elias, Dolph Ziggler, but other than that, I guess they're going to rely more heavily on on the wrestling side of things because there's not a lot of people that go out there and cut an interesting promo that's going to hold your attention.
Yeah, Elias is probably the guy. I mean, you know.
Yeah, well, like, you know, on this show, though, he's getting buried back in a backstage segment where Renee totally blows him off.
Yeah, she did. Oh, well, lucky. He'd be lucky. So lucky. But anyway, did Bebop and Rocksteady have a match tonight? What do they call Razor and Greg?
Oh, yes. The AOP.
What are the names? Razor and what?
Oh, man, now that you're messing about now, I can't even think of them. We'll just call them the AOP.
All right, you know what? All right, so we got the Authors of Pain versus Heath Slater and Rhino. That happened at the top of the show because I skipped past that.
Oh yes, that's who they took. Yeah, there's not much to talk about. Those guys are just getting a slow start right now.
Yeah, I mean it was what it was. They're gonna listen. Those guys are gonna be honed to be tag team champions eventually, big boys. What I want to happen over the next year is I want. Oh my God! Now I'm drawing a blank as well. The manager, their former manager.
Paul Ellering.
Paul Ellering. I want Paul Ellering to take a new tag team under his wing, build them up in NXT, to bring them up to the main roster and take on the AOP. That would be cool.
Yeah, I like that. And you know, the team that kind of immediately comes to mind would be they're formerly known as War Machine. It looks like they're going to be called the War Raiders in NXT. Yeah. I think that would be pretty cool.
That would be cool. And maybe have Paul Ellering manage them. Why not? What do you think?
Hey, that's a great story, and you're laying groundwork for something a bigger payoff down the road, man. I'm digging that one, man. You got your thinking cap on tonight.
I do. That's because I'm not drinking too many adult beverages. But anyway, Braun Strowman, Seth Rollins, Finn Balor, Bobby Lashley, Bobby Roode. It seems like a freaking all-star team versus The Miz. Kevin Owens, Sami Zayn, the Miztourage. You knew who was going over here. You got the big boys going over. Bobby Roode joining Monday Night Raw. That was weird. They're bringing the Glorious gimmick over to Monday Night Raw, and for me, again, this gimmick has fallen flat. And my fix for everything is turn him heel. But Bobby Roode is one of the best bad guys in wrestling, dude. I followed this guy since Team Canada, all the way back in the days of the Asylum and TNA. Scott D'Amore and Eric Young and the rest of the crew there. And I'm telling you, this guy, if they turned him into a bad guy, which he was a freaking heel in NXT, I don't know why he's, you know, he could still be glorious and be a jerk off, you know what I mean? Go ahead.
Well, I'm with you 100%. That was the first thing that came out of my mouth as soon as I saw him up here. I said, great, he needed this shakeup. Now let's turn him heel. Let's get back to the roots of Bobby Roode. Let's truly bring out what makes him glorious. Hey, but you're talking about Team Canada. You always knew who I thought was going to be like huge from that stable, and he ended up going nowhere. Was what was it? A1?
Really? I never saw it.
I don't know. It was just me. I guess it was back in the day before I only understood half of stuff I know now. Mm-hmm. But man, I thought he was going to be big, man. I liked it.
Well, he did well for himself. Did you know that he actually created this steak sauce that became very famous?
Now, see, I thought that was in his family. I thought that was like his surname or something like that.
I like it. I like it on hot dogs. It's actually pretty damn good. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that was Monday Night Raw. That was the shake-up portion of Monday Night Raw. Now listen, man, let's jump right into SmackDown, dude. SmackDown was 2 hours, and we're gonna systematically go down this show. Again, The Miz is now part of SmackDown, which is awesome. We'll talk about that a little bit. The SmackDown 4/17/2018. We're gonna run through this. The show kicked off with AJ Styles versus Rusev, and man, the fans were freaking chanting over AJ Styles. Rusev Day. It was Rusev Day. Dude, what was your opinion? And by the way, well, I'm not going to give the finish yet. What did you think? What did you think of how over Rusev was?
Well, you know, he is growing in popularity every week, and it's undeniable how much they're trying to bury it on television. You can tell that they're cutting down mics in the arena. They cut the commercials at different times. Heck, this ended up setting up the main event that we were going to have, and they didn't even give us their entrance televised. It was during a commercial break to avoid that eruption that him and English were going to get when they made their way to the ring. Hey, they are over, and they still keep trying to push them as the villains. it's almost like, they try to hook you. They come out, English gets the crowd raring up, ready to go. He gets them with the Rusev Day thing, and then it's like he tries to slap them in the face. And I think it's making them more popular.
You know what's so funny? I had no idea. Maybe I missed it. I had no idea that Rusev was they re-upped the match between he and The Undertaker. I had no idea this was happening. I was in shock because they were talking about this in the main event, like, oh, Rusev is going to be fighting The Undertaker. What? What do you mean? What? And you heard me on the discussion group. I was like, what's going on here? And apparently on Monday Night Raw. So what happened? Did
well,
you
it
hear?
it was just about an hour before Raw went on the air, probably about an hour and a half. Lana started sending out tweets that was kind of indicating that she had given her approval for Rusev to actually work this match, so it was back on. So then, people were questioning, is this legit? What's going on? What's actually has been happening over the last couple of days? Everyone kind of was thinking that Rusev had asked for his release. It seems maybe that was all one big work, some hype for the shakeup or whatever. But Lana's sitting there teasing this, and then WWE themselves comes in right before Raw goes on the air and drops the news that the match is back on. And then we got the promo packages on both shows. So it's Undertaker versus Rusev casket match for the greatest Royal Rumble ever.
So I'm assuming that whatever was happening was legit. Like, I think Rusev maybe perhaps thought that he was going to, because they didn't allude to it at all. They acted as if it never happened. They never really mentioned why it wasn't, like, the real reason why it didn't happen. It's not part of the storyline. So I'm here to believe that Rusev really did think he was going to get fired, and apparently he has some type of leverage, dude. He is up there when it comes to merchandise sold by. He must be in the top 5, right?
He is most certainly up there with the Rusev Day T-shirt. I'm going to go the other way here, man. I think this whole thing is a crafted work to try to. I think this might be partially a way for. The company has been known for, they want to be the ones that create the star. So now that maybe they had a hand in manipulating this, is he leaving? Is he staying? What's happening? Yes, he's coming back. So now in their minds, they can kind of, write it off as, yeah, we helped take him to the next level. Sure, he was popular, but we're the ones who got him to like a main event status. Maybe why we saw him working two of the biggest names on the Blue brand tonight. Maybe they do have plans for him.
I'm trying to look here.
What's your guess for the match, the casket match, though? I mean, because we saw Undertaker and Cena go 2 minutes and 15 seconds. But what do you think this casket match is going to go? It's going to go over under 5 minutes?
He's going to get squashed, dude. He's going to get squashed so bad. And I think this is, I don't know. I mean, could this be the actual burial of Rusev? Like, could they put him in a casket and just write him off? I don't think so. I don't see, because if that was a fact, like if you look at the finish of this match right here, Rusev could have lost here, right? Rusev could have lost. Rusev could have, no. Aiden English came in, so it was a disqualification setting up the main event for the evening. He doesn't go under here. I don't know. Rusev, they're not treating him on TV as someone who they would write off of TV. Does that make sense?
Well,
I don't know, dude.
Maybe they're looking at. They know he's hot. He is a great talent. Him and English have a great act. So maybe they're willing to elevate him to that. That enhancement for the stars. Mm-hmm. I mean, you did lose. You just lost Dolph Ziggler to Raw. You need someone to fill that role. And maybe that becomes Rusev. I was thinking maybe that belongs to Shelton Benjamin, who we were going to see on this show. But I guess maybe. Maybe this Greatest Rumble tells us a lot about, what's going on, going forward with him.
Well, I'm trying to look at the top merchandise sellers for WWE as of March 2018. Do you have that?
I know a couple of them off the top of my head. We were looking at them yesterday. Hands down, still the number one superstar is John Cena.
No.
Hey, he's still the number one.
I have as of March 2018, Rusev Day is number 1.
I think he just had the number 1 T-shirt.
Yeah, the number 1 T-shirt. Elias was number 2. His T-shirt was number 2.
But when you look at overall sales with all the different apparel and little novelties and the different sets of T-shirts,
Right.
it was Cena, and then for like regularly active superstars, it was kind of a tight race between Roman Reigns and AJ.
So where does Rusev fall in? About 5, 6?
Well, you got to think overall, he probably falls in the top 5, but it's hard to compete when you only have one shirt, and John Cena's got like 10 pieces of merchandise out there.
But he's the number one. But he's the number one with that one shirt. Like if it comes to like specific merchandise. No, but Ronda Rousey, they have her down here twice for the black shirt and the white shirt. This as of March.
Okay, so they're looking at the itemized products there,
Oh,
which
there goes my
that's not surprising, and I'm sure I'd be interested to see where they line up all of the female superstars.
Well,
Listen, where they list.
I got to tell you, my brother. Neither here nor there. The guy has some type of some leverage here. Who the heck is hitting me up here? Anyway, it doesn't matter. All right, so let's move on, dude, because we have so much stuff. We had Paige backstage with a very awkward promo. She looked good, by the way. I think she looked really good this week.
I saw you made that comment. And she's been getting a lot of flack from the internet wrestling community. They've been distorting her pictures and all that. I think she's just become an easy target, and I don't think it's very deserving.
Come on. Come on. You serious? You don't think it's deserving? We can talk about this here as long as we work our way around this, dude. You don't think it's deserving?
No, I don't take any issue with anything that she's done. She is a young girl who lives a little bit on the adventurous side. I think it's very unfortunate that those things went public, but
the thing is that when you're in that limelight, and see, I'm gonna use John Cena, the John Cena situation as an example. For those who've been living under the rock, John Cena has broken off his engagement with Nikki Bella, or maybe she broke it off.
I was going to say, if they don't know, if anyone listening to us hasn't heard that, they're not listening to us because they don't have access to the internet. I mean, this is a crossover. This isn't wrestling. This is just general. It was PR.
The View, the Talk, the Walk, all those shows had it. Freaking everybody was talking about it. Fox 5 talked about it today. Everybody, everywhere, all over. Entertainment Tonight broke it. Listen, John Cena you wanted John Cena to turn heel? He is the biggest heel in the world right now. You got what you wanted, ladies and gentlemen. And this is why I'm saying this, because when you live in the public eye, everything you do will be scrutinized, and you have to know how to live your life in the public eye. That's why a guy like Derek Jeter, I'm using a sports analogy, is so revered, because he was the man in New York for well over 15 years, and the guy, not even a blemish on his record, brother. What have you heard about Derek Jeter doing wrong? Nothing. Have you? Think real well.
I guess he's got a few knocks. He's like to jump from lady to lady at time, and maybe some questionable ladies.
What do you mean? That like chicks?
No. Some that are out there a little promiscuous at times.
That's fine. He's Derek Jeter, dude. He wasn't married.
No, I'm pretty sure he was the only one in his relationship swinging the bat.
Sure.
But he's been involved with some promiscuous individuals. So maybe there was some question there. But going back to Paige, I mean, you're gonna be under, the public. You're gonna be scrutinized by everything you do, by that public magnifying glass. But I personally I don't take any issue with it. She was a young girl living her life. She's probably she's learned from those mistakes. Yeah, she seems a little batshit crazy, but
yeah. She does. Batshit crazy is perfect way of describing her. I gotta be honest with you. But let's move on.
I think we've all probably at one time dated a girl like that.
I know I have.
Well, and the key thing for anyone out there listening is those are the kinds of individuals you date, you don't marry.
No, I mean it was a hot night in a cold apartment. There's about 4 of us. Anyway, so just a weird segment back there with her, and they did the whole, I don't know if you noticed, I thought it was so poorly done. Shane McMahon, I guess the camera was supposed to cut off about 3 seconds before him. Shane's like, with the 80s freeze frame after she walked away.
See, what I really liked is, this was the only segment they were on, correct?
Affirmative.
Okay, so that I think Shane realized, he's going from where, he's in like 4 to 5 segments, and now he's only got like, 90 seconds. So he's got to ham it up. He's got to make the most of every second he has now.
I hear you. I
hope when they move forward, we've seen them add so much talent tonight to SmackDown Live. I really hope that they move away from making the show about the authority figures.
SmackDown Live won the shakeup. I'm going to tell you
hands down.
Oh my God. And at the beginning of the show, I was like, oh man, this is not that great. But then, they bring Jeff Hardy back. And I was like, okay, that's cool. Shelton Benjamin's in the ring. And I'm going to call him Mr. Future Endeavor because I don't think he's going to have much a home there longer. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I just don't see a place for Shelton Benjamin with all this young talent coming up. I mean, he's definitely somebody that looks the part. And the guy's possibly one of the best wrestlers, like legit wrestlers. And again,
he could fall into like that Dolph Ziggler role. He's kind of he's that cocky villain that has the talent that can go with anybody you need him to go with. So you build him up at times so he can put somebody over. I think that's the role that he falls into, which is I would love to see him try to get one more serious push. I mean, he's so talented.
He is really talented. He's terrible on the mic though. I mean, this guy, the promo that he cut tonight, he was just stuttering and like, dude, you've been in the business for 20 years, please. I don't know. Anyway, it is what it is. But anyway, Jeff Hardy goes over with the big swanton, twist of fate and a swanton bomb, and he's been landing that swanton bomb pretty freaking stiff. Just potatoing people with his body. Just landing on them with his twist with his swanton. No?
Well, I don't know, if he's still maybe feeling the effects from those painkillers, so he's not feeling it. But yeah, he is taking it to his opponents.
Listen, we go to a handy cam promo from The Miz. Jey Uso versus Luke Harper. And this match ends when basically everything falls apart outside the ring. And, Jimmy and Jay are trying to use the big hammers against the big two brutes. And then you got... which one's married to Naomi? Is it Jimmy? It's Jay.
Okay.
It's Jay. Yeah, it's Jay. No, it's Jay. So you got Jay, right? He's leaned up against the damn steps. And these guys are about to take that hammer and play whack-a-mole with his head. And then Naomi runs down, screaming. And, this segment was weird for me, dude, because these guys are two monsters. And why did they show mercy? Because she was a chick? I mean, I don't know, dude. I would have grabbed her. I mean, I don't know. Is WWE cool with grabbing her by the back of her hair and throwing her out of the way? I mean, I don't know, dude.
Well, they're cool on the other side because we've seen in the last couple of weeks the ladies putting their hands on the men, especially in the case of Ronda Rousey, and even in the mixed tag challenge, Charlotte and The Miz mixed it up a little bit. Yeah, but you would think, if these guys are these true psychopaths that they're trying to sell them as, they're not going to hold back, whatever sex you are, whoever you are. If you're in their way, they're going to run through you.
Yeah. I agree. I don't know, man. It's just weird, dude. It was just a weird segment.
I guess they could be just furthering a twisted mind game. Let's use that as the excuse.
Yeah, I guess. It is what it is. But you know what? We go from that to, man, one of SmackDown's biggest gets. Joe. I love them. Dun 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 dun. Joe.
Did this surprise you?
Oh, it did. It surprised the hell out of me, man, because he just cut the promo on freaking Roman Reigns, and you think he's gonna go into some type of gimmick with him, some feud with him, and then he ends up beating up on Sin Cara, who does look like he's been eating very well, by the way. Sin Cara, barely hitting that springboard maneuver that he was doing. Second rope almost could not contain him, but yeah, Samoa Joe goes over with a Coquina clutch, dude. This is huge. You agree?
Yeah, him coming over immediately, it was a game changer. This was when the Miz switched brands. I was okay with the shakeup. That was the move I was looking forward to. But this just, locked it down for SmackDown. That they hands down won the shakeup, and then the promo that Joe cut afterwards to kind of put everybody on alert. Mm-hmm. Again. Him and Miz are probably the two best right now between SmackDown and Raw, when it comes to cutting those great, just pull you in, get you invested promos.
Oh yeah.
This was a big shock to me to see him come over. You know, like you were saying, though, that they're already setting him up for, he's got Roman at Backlash.
Mm-hmm.
But as I was talking about with Baron Corbin, Raw kind of has that rough around the edges feel, and Joe, he kind of fits that vibe. But did you happen to catch the .com backstage promo he cut before the shakeup yesterday?
No, I didn't, man. Why don't you break it down?
It was so good. I mean, this is something that they almost should have brought to television.
It's about Joe.
Yeah, Joe was cutting it.
Joe's the man, dude.
Well, and he already comes out and they ask him, what's the possibility of you going to SmackDown Live? And he came out and said, you know what, if I go to SmackDown Live, this is because people above me, maybe because someone's boy, they're pulling strings. If I go to SmackDown Live, that's to, one, protect Roman Reigns and to protect Brock Lesnar so I don't kill both of them.
Oh, wow. That's perfect.
He sold it perfect. And that's something that maybe they should have brought to television.
Such a believable beast, man. This guy is like the real deal. Like, I don't know, man.
He's one of those guys that are legit that scare you to death while you're sitting at home watching on television.
He is. And you know what? Say what you will about Roman Reigns. If that dude was hitting on your girlfriend, man, it'll be a problem. That's a big boy too. So, and Brock Lesnar he'll just eat your children. I mean, it's terrible what he would do. But yeah, Samoa Joe, dude. Super huge get for SmackDown. So far, SmackDown is killing it. And then they don't end there. Backstage, you see Danny O'Brien. And then he runs into the belly button of Big Cass. So now they got Big Cass over there, and that being possibly their only true giant, right? That's it. Like, they don't have... Who are the big guys over there in SmackDown?
But they're pretty much gone. You lose Baron Corbin. Even a guy like Mojo, who is gone. What could be interesting?
Go ahead, buddy.
An encounter like between Big E and Big Cass. That might be interesting, but there's not many what you would consider bulky or true big men over there.
I'm actually going. Let me see here. SmackDown. I'm going to see if they have any superstar shake-up updates here as we're moving along. And of course, it's not easy for me to. Let me see. SmackDown highlights.
I think what they did. I think it was officially over after SmackDown went off the air. I don't think they were doing any more social media.
All right. Let me just break down the list here.
Yeah. In all, there were. Between singles and groups, SmackDown acquired 10 picks.
Jesus Christ, Raw got 19?
Well, you got remember, they got 3 hours of programming, and they no longer seem to feature the cruiserweights, so they've got more time to fill.
19? Yeah, I guess. All right, well, I have everybody here.
And this is, SmackDown got more than the 10. This is just the selections because. When I break this down, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
It's a lot.
16.
Okay.
If you count the tag teams and Sanity coming up as a stable.
Right. We'll talk about that in a little bit. But what'd you think of the whole Iconics that segment with the Iconics, Billie Kay coming in and her and Peyton. Those girls are just so made for TV, dude. They come in, they start talking crap about the queen of the WWE, and then beating up your precious Shar. For you guys, hold on. For you fans here, OneWrestling.com, this man is in love with Charlotte Flair. He calls her his precious Shar. Go ahead, Rick. Go ahead.
They immediately. Rubbed me the wrong way last week when they go after, yes, my precious Shar, who is probably, hands down, just not amongst the females, but hands down amongst all of the WWE superstars, the top talent that we have going in the world today. Everything about her is just so incredible, so over the top. I've been preaching the goodness and greatness of my precious Shar over these past few months. I've gotten so many to jump on the bandwagon that are finally seeing that. And eventually, Big Ray, you're going to see the light. You're going to join us. But to talk about the Iconics here, I was never really a big fan of their work, but always knew. Oh, yeah. It was going to translate well from NXT to the red and blue brands. They have sports entertainment written all over them. These two are going to be big.
Oh, they're going to be huge. They're going to be huge. They're going to be so huge. You're going to see how huge they're going to be. Anyway, that's my terrible Donald Trump. Yeah, man. So, listen. Charlotte Flair goes over with the figure eight. She beats Billie Kay. After the match, you have Carmella who comes and attacks everybody here. And all Bedlam's breaking out. And then Asuka makes her official debut on SmackDown. See, people are confused. People think just because Asuka fought Charlotte at WrestleMania meant she was on SmackDown. No. If she would have won the title, we would have had to figure out what was going to happen, because then she would have taken that to Raw, because she was a Raw branded talent. But now, dude, again, a huge freaking get for SmackDown. You have and you're keeping Ronda Rousey and Asuka apart. I think it helps Asuka, dude. What do you think?
Well, I think you're keeping some major stories apart there. One of the main reasons that we didn't see Charlotte jump to Raw is because, I mean, to me that's actually, all fun aside with my Char. I believe the bigger money is between Charlotte and Ronda Rousey. That's your bigger PR move. That's the names that people know. But of course, there down the line there is another big match with Ronda and Asuka. So you want to keep them apart, and yes, you can actually take what we had happen at WrestleMania between those two, and you can use that to fuel a program going forward. They could have a great rematch at SummerSlam between those two.
Absolutely, absolutely, my friend. Hey, man, you're not wrong. It's just, you can do so much. That roster is stacked, dude. They got some real good talent there, man. And again, those two girls are just amazing on the mic. They have such a good look. They are gorgeous women, and they are nasty.
I'll tell you who really impressed me tonight with her mic work, Carmella.
Really?
I think she's hitting that. I think she's hitting that character. She's hitting it 100%. She's totally hitting the mark there. That's a little, inside, a joke that we usually use over on the Hitting the Mark Pro Wrestling podcast when we like something. She's totally hitting the mark. But did you happen to catch this? This music video commercial that they're using featuring Carmella for the Don't branded pay-per-views?
Dude, that I mean, you got Eric Rowan doing the bop. You know what I'm saying? Doing a little hip hop dance and stuff, and it's just so weird to see some of these characters out of character. I mean, I could see Woken Matt Hardy. I don't know, man. It was just weird. The bar is over there, being silly and stuff. What the hell is this commercial for? What are they doing? What are they talking about?
It's just to promote and try to put it. They're trying to make it seem like it's something special, that you're going to get all the biggest names on a single pay-per-view. That's what they still want to call them. I think they should go with something that sounds more spectacular. Mega events, special attractions, something like that.
Ooh,
but they're still calling them pay-per-views for whatever reason. But they want to put over and make it special that oh yeah, now you're getting all the major stars on one. And they want you to forget the fact that they were making us suffer through terrible undercards twice a month.
Yeah, pretty bad.
But I'll tell you what, the song is actually, it is so bad that it is actually growing on me, and I have actually made it my ringtone.
No, you have not. Prove it.
Well, my phone is off now because we're working.
I was about to call you on it, but I believe you now. Unfreaking believable. Fans, you can write your hate mail to @RealRVB. Again, RBV. That's Billy Ray Valentine. @RealRBV. Right?
If you're gonna come at me with a bunch of hate mail, then yes, please direct that towards Billy Ray Valentine.
That's and Obi-Wan, not me, you know me. Obi-Wan, you know me. And of course, again, ladies and gentlemen, give me a follow. We're about to finish up here, man. Give me a follow on Twitter @BigRayShow, and again @TheRealRBV, or @RealRBV, or The Real.
The Real.
The Real. Okay, I just want to make sure. Yo, dude, man. So let me just run down some of before we go to the main event. So we got Carl Anderson, Luke Gallows coming back. Coming to SmackDown, and the possible. Wow. So you got AJ Styles, Finn Balor's on Raw, right?
He is still with Raw.
Okay, so you got AJ Styles. Yeah, so it looks like they're about to kick John Cena's ass again. Beat up John Cena.
Hey, John Cena is a free agent still himself. He can show up on whichever brand. So I mean, we could get that for a special attraction.
He's single too, apparently. Anyway, Andreas, I can never say his name. Andreas Cien Almas. I'll say it in Spanish. I can say it better that way. Wow, shocker. So happy.
Most importantly, he is bringing Vega with him.
Ooh, that girl can go, dude.
Hey, you talk about a dynamic duo. I think, I enjoy watching them out there doing their thing more than I do Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar. I'm really excited for this pick, and I want to see what he can bring to SmackDown Live.
Let me tell you something. Zelina Vega, I watched her. I watched her when she was, what was her name on the Indies? I could never, Thea Trinidad. When she was Thea Trinidad on the Indies, I saw a couple of times in New Jersey wrestling, and I was like, man, that is a beautiful freaking woman. She's so good.
Oh, absolutely gorgeous. And then when you realize how talented she is.
Well, when I saw her, she had blonde hair. And I don't know if it was just me. She looked a little like Trish Stratus. Like, look at old pictures of her with the blonde hair. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, you mentioned this to me, before off air, and you're right. Hey, go hit the Google machine, look up some old photos of her. Just hit the image trigger there, and it's going to bring up things from her past, and they're going to be scrolling through, and you're going to be like, oh, there's actually a Trish Stratus photo in here, but no, that is her. She's
great, man. Dude, so many good. So Cien Almas is coming over. Then you got Carl Anderson. I already said that. The Bar is coming to SmackDown, which is good because they're a good tag team, and now you get a fresh look at this tag team. They can feud with the New Day and feud with whomever over there. I think that's going to be fun. R-Truth. And and again, I said Asuka, but let's talk about Sanity before we go into the main event of the evening. Wow. It's a big one. All three of them are coming up, but somebody's missing, Rick.
Yeah, there was that rumor kicking around that they didn't really know if the dynamic with the woman in the group would work on, Raw or SmackDown. It looks like that they opted then to, let Nikki Cross go on her own in NXT and just bringing the boys up.
I don't know, man.
I think it's actually these guys are so good, especially Eric Young, that they'll make it work. But I think it's just gonna be missing that little extra that made it so special.
Yes, Nikki Cross is very special, and I think she did bring that a little more of that it to Sanity, I guess you would call it. You get the it insanity? No, anyone? But yeah, man, that was so terrible. I feel like punching my own face. But I'm excited, dude. I'm excited to see Sanity come up, and I think this is going to be great for Smack. Dude, let's jump into the main event of the evening because we're about to go home. We've been on this for about an hour now. I can't believe we did these two shows in an hour, or less than an hour. But AJ Styles and Daniel Bryan, yes, versus Rusev Day and Aiden English. Dude, I loved the finish of this match. I loved how Shinsuke comes out of the blue. He is such a jerk off, isn't he? With the nut shot to AJ Styles on the outside. And then Daniel Bryan's coming to help him out. And he turns around and runs into the size 20 boot of the big man that I can't remember his name. What the hell is this guy? Big Cass. Jesus Christ. I'm off my game tonight, bro. I'm tired. That's what it is. I've been up so early.
But you had all those creative juices flowing. So
I did. Now everything's kind of like...
Well, names are out the window. It's just what direction do we go on? We don't care who's going with us, just what direction.
Are they doing David versus Goliath with Cass and Daniel Bryan?
Yeah, I'm going to have to say I disagree with you on this one. I really didn't even like this match setup. I didn't like a whole lot about the match. There were some little things in here. I don't really like that they're actually pushing Big Cass into this spot so quickly on his return. Really unproven to me. I will give you Nakamura. This is the Nakamura that we should have had a long time ago. Him showing those shades of chaos are just brilliant. And I'm tell you what, the I don't speak English is getting over with me big time.
Wait, you say it again? He's not getting over with you?
No, I don't speak English is getting over with me big time. Sorry.
Oh, I love that. The interview on the ramp with what's her name with
Renee.
Yeah, Dean Ambrose's wife, Renee Young, who's beautiful by the way. Did I mention that before? No, yeah, definitely. I gotta say, man, I don't know. I like the finish. I thought it worked out because it's like a cliffhanger. It's like it leaves you. It's something, because I was talking to Strangler Steve about this, and WWE, what they've been doing is instead of leaving you with something to look forward to next week, like a cliffhanger, they kind of been trying to finish business within that 2 or 3 hour spot. You know what I'm saying? And this week, you know, Shinsuke comes out, hits him in the balls. I don't speak English. And then you have freaking Big Cass. Why is he going after Daniel Bryan? I want to tune in next SmackDown to find out why. And I'm looking forward to it, dude.
Well, do you think it possibly has something to do? He was riding Enzo's coattails for so long. You think maybe he's just got like this mental disorder where he just wants to take out all of these small statured superstars?
Wow. See,
maybe he shows up on 205 and starts killing people.
I'm watching you. This is the circle. You're in the circle of trust. No, dude, that is brilliant. He just wants to beat up loud little guys that make a lot. You know, my God, yes. Why not? You know, if you want to know more, if you want to just soak up some of this amazing knowledge and thought process that Mr. Rick Vickery just put forth here today on this video. Rick, where can they follow you and find you, dude, for more?
You know, we threw it out there a couple times, but hey, one more time never hurts. You can catch me across all social media platforms at The Real RBV, as Ray was so kind to mention. You can find Michael Jargo and myself on the Hitting the Marks Pro Wrestling Podcast. Probably the easiest way to look us up there is to head on over to thegorillaposition.com. That is our home base. You can find our link there. And then, of course, Jargo and I we are very fortunate, lucky enough to be a part of the Hameen Media Group. You can catch us each and every Monday kicking off your wrestling week inside the locker room.
And who is the editor-in-chief of the Gorilla Position?
That would be Mr. One, Ryan K. Bowman.
He's a very good friend of OneWrestling.com. He puts up a lot of good material for us. Helps out Mr. Bill Apter a lot. We love our Ryan K. Bowman. We love the GorillaPosition.com. We love Hameen Media. We love Rick Vickery, Mike Jargo. We love you all. Ladies and gentlemen, give me a follow on Twitter at Big Ray Show. Give us a follow here. Subscribe. Hit that little bell, ladies and gentlemen. And again, I always say I would do this for a living, but if I couldn't, I'd do it anyway. Why? Because I love talking wrestling. In the words of Bill Apter, we'll see you at the matches. In the words of my brother Bill Schuyler, we'll see you down the road. And thank you for joining us here for a little smack talk. And maybe next week, Rick, I can go live. Wouldn't that be wonderful?
Hey, you know, we got a week to get this all worked out, and everyone will be able to join in with you in the live discussion.
Rick, thank you so much for joining me, dude. I was kind of down that I was gonna have to do this thing by myself, but we got it done. You know, you came out of the bullpen, you struck out the side, bases loaded, 2 outs. I really appreciate it, bro.
Hey, no problem. Anytime.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we will be back next week. It's after, I guess you call it the fallout of the fallout for this week's SmackDown. That made no sense, but it's fine because I'm tired. And I love you. You love him, Rick?
Oh, very much, you know, and nothing but love.
He loves you more than Shar Shar, I think.
You know what? Everyone is my Shar Shar.
Oh, everyone. Follow Bill Apter at After One Wrestling. Peace.